Dragon Ball Lao Tzu as the God of Destruction Chapter 1-20. Chapter 1. Is Lao Tzu Beerus? Jingle bell tilde 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 tilde. A rapid alarm sound woke Zhao Yi, who was still asleep, from his dream. Damn, who is so ungrateful? Get me an alarm clock early in the morning. Zhao Yi yawned, stretched out his hand and turned off the alarm clock next to the pillow. Suddenly, he was bewildered by the scene in front of him. What's wrong with Zihuhu's hand? Am I going to shit? Only then did Zhao Yi realize that he was no longer in his kennel. Instead, it appeared in a room where the alarm clock was suspended nearby. And just when Zhao Yi hadn't figured out what was going on, a blue-faced man with a tin stick in his hand, with white hair reaching the sky, came to Zhao Yi's bed with a smile. Zhao Yi saw at a glance that the other party was not simple. Hamapi, the orchid on this girl's hand refers to 10 ghosts, she must be a pseudo-mother. Sure enough, the other party spoke in a pseudo-girl voice that can only be heard on TV. Master God of Destruction, you finally woke up, you have been sleeping for 700 years, and you want to die. This voice made Zhao Yi's complexion change instantly. He quickly wrapped the quilt and only dared to show a pair of eyes. Get out of here, I'll get up by myself. Zhao Yi's terrified voice made Weston resent like a little girl. Master God of Destruction, you have changed, you don't like people anymore. He was crying while covering his face. And Zhao Yi was confused by what he called himself the God of Destruction. God of Destruction. He called me the God of Destruction. Could it be? Zhao Yi quickly touched his butt under the quilt. Of course, it's not to check if he's been blasted. Fuck, tail, bear tail. After touching his head again, Zhao Yi finally understood. Fuck you, I've become a God of Destruction. And at this moment, a bunch of messages came out from my mind. Zhao Yi immediately understood his identity and responsibilities, as well as how to use the power in his body. Weiss, don't cry for me, tell me, why did you wake me up? Zhao Yi rolled his eyes at Weiss, who was still pretending. Then he asked while getting up and washing his face. Oh ho ho ho, the God of Destruction actually washes his face by himself, it's shocking. With a smile, Weiss floated behind Zhao Yi, causing the God of Destruction to feel a chill on his back. Can you not stay behind my back? It feels weird, okay. Zhao Yi was upset when he looked at the cat's face in the mirror. God of Destruction, you are yelling at people again. Weiss' face was bitter, and he was about to cry again. Okay, hurry up and get down to business, what's the matter with calling me up? Zhao Yi, who had no choice but to listen to Weiss cry, could only wave his hand to let Weiss get to the point quickly. Ho 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 ho, there's actually nothing wrong. That is, the sleeping demon King Bu in ancient times was awakened by a magician named Babidi, who has destroyed thousands of planets for a long time. Weiss changed his face faster than a child, and immediately said to Zhao Yi with a smile on his face. Thousands of years ago when the original book started. Could it be because Bu was killing the Kaiking god this time? Zhao Yi immediately felt a bit of trouble, and he was about to work as soon as he came out, but it seemed to be quite fun. Isn't it a matter of the Kaiwang god that someone destroys the weak? Why do you ask me to get up, or do you want to change to the God of Destruction again? Zhao Yi glanced at Wes in the mirror, and immediately began to brush his teeth. Ho 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 ho, I think so, but the IQ of this demon Bu is too low to be suitable. And now that the real kings have fought with Bu, I think they are all going to die, so I wake you up, you know, if they die, you will die too. Weiss' smiling words made Zhao Yi stop brushing his teeth. Damn it, why did I forget this one? After spitting out the mouthwash, Zhao Yi quickly put on his God of Destruction suit. Let's go, Weiss, and go meet that rogue-like devil, Bu, who dares to take my job and is courting death. Zhao Yi, who seems to be as stable as an old dog, is actually still panicking. If he accidentally goes late and asks Bu to kill everyone, wouldn't he just be a God of Destruction? Yes, God of Destruction. It seemed that Zhao Yi was forcing his composure. Weiss covered his mouth with a slight smile, and then swiped the tin stick toward the ground, and instantly the two of them turned into a beam of light and disappeared in the destruction god realm. The distant realm of kings and gods. Damn, his strength has increased many times since he absorbed the southern realm king god. At this time, the old man, the king of the north realm, who was running around in a trick, was already stunned. And the powerful southern king god has been absorbed by Majin Buu. At this time, only the little king of the eastern realm, Xin, the beautiful king of the western realm, and the king of the great realm were still alive. Ha ha ha, Buu, hurry up and kill all these abominable kings and gods. Then I will be the master of the universe. Babidi hid behind Buu and laughed wildly as he looked at the three Kaio gods in front of him who had been severely beaten. It's just that he didn't see it. A murderous look flashed in Big Boo's eyes, but because Babidi could seal himself again, it didn't show it. This kind of murderousness has never happened before. On the other side, the great king god seemed to have noticed the changes in Buu after absorbing the southern king god. You too, the stability of the universe will depend on you in the future. The words of the great realm god made the two of them stunned for a moment. Suddenly, the great king god teleported, appeared behind Buu, and hugged him. At the same time, a powerful light burst out from his body. No, he's going to blow himself up. Buu, be careful. Babidi quickly put up an energy shield for himself, and then ran away shamelessly. The big Buu who was hugged sneered, and then the whole person turned into a pink liquid and instantly wrapped the great king god. No, he is going to absorb the great realm king god lord. The western realm king god hurriedly launched numerous attacks on Buu, trying to knock Buu off the great realm king. It's a pity that the gap between her and Buu is too big. The attack hit Buu's body and was absorbed directly. And Shenxi, the king of the eastern realm on the side, was already frightened. Good Buu, kill these abominable Kaio gods. In the protective cover, Dabi D laughed. Is it so funny? Chapter 2. Don't take me with you if you want to die. While Babidi was still laughing wildly, he suddenly found a big hand wrapping his shoulders. This scene scared BBD's soul. You, who are you? BBD didn't dare to move, because he had already felt the terrifying energy fluctuations of the person behind him. Ho 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 ho, god of destruction, you don't even put away your aura. Look, you're scaring people. At this moment, Weiss floated down from the sky with a smile. Lord Weiss, it's actually Lord Weiss and the god of destruction. It's great to be saved. The king of the eastern realm shouted excitedly, the god of destruction was here, and little Buu was nothing. I have seen the god of destruction, the god of destruction. The western realm king god was not as surprised as Xin. She hurriedly walked up to Zhao Yi and said respectfully. What? You are the legendary god of destruction. I can warn you, when my Buu has swallowed the great king god, he will swallow you together. BBD was immediately surprised, but his master kept telling him that there are some people who should not be messed with. But now, he not only provoked the king god but also killed a few. What about this so-called god of destruction? Well, no gift, after all, you are also gods of the same level as me. The god of destruction glanced coldly at the east-west realm king god who was respectfully in front of him. As for you. Zhao Yi turned his purple eyes to Babidi, who was clamoring in his hands. Why, what can you do to me? Although Babidi is in the hands of others, he still looks like a big drag. You just disappear. The god of destruction grinned slightly, and after a purple light flashed in Babidi's terrified eyes, Babidi completely disappeared from the world. This is the end. Xin stared blankly at the place where Babidi disappeared. Babidi, who was hiding behind his back and controlling Buu, was destroyed so easily. No, Buu is still here, it's not over yet. As soon as the myth of the Western Realm King finished speaking, the Eastern Realm King God saw the demon Buu transforming rapidly not far away. His expression changed suddenly, and he hurried to hide behind the god of destruction. Damn, is this kid so timid? The god of destruction was speechless when he looked at the urine of the King of Kings. No wonder this guy in the original book looked horrified when he saw the strong man. This kid seems to be the Joker of Dragon Ball after many years, if nothing else. Zhao Yi would never want to be associated with the fate of such a coward. I don't know how to break this fucking fate link. The fact that the fates of the god of destruction and the Kaiwang god are linked together is the most speechless thing Zhao Yi has ever felt. A scum with a combat strength of Super 2 and a person with a combat power of Super 3, who can be killed in seconds by a super race god are actually linked together. And just when Zhao Yi was thinking wildly, Bu in front had completely absorbed the Great Realm God. As for why Zhao Yi didn't save the Great Realm King God, it's very simple. A god of destruction who went up to his own death wouldn't have the mood to save him. Obviously, he could have contacted him a long time ago, but if he died, he would have to hold on to it. In the end, he died and even brought 4 realm gods with him. Of course, due to Zhao Yi's intervention, the Western Realm King God survived. The lump of soft meat in front of him quickly turned into a naive pink fat man. Huh, Babidi is dead. Great. So I can play my favorite game every day. Fat Boo chuckled. His favorite game was destruction, but Babidi wanted to rule the universe. Did you kill Babidi? In return, I'll make you my favorite chocolate. Fat Boo glanced at the god of destruction in front of him, and a bloodthirsty aura flashed through his narrowed eyes. Wow, Boo's going to get angry. Lyra, hurry up and hide. The Eastern Realm King God was so frightened that his face turned green, and he hurriedly greeted the Western Realm King God. Zhao Yi saw the cold sweat dripping down again. No, I want to end this lockup. This kid is so incompetent, what if he is scared to death? And just as Zhao Yi's thought appeared, a white light shot towards him. Become chocolate. Fat Boo covered his stomach and laughed. Looking at the blazing white energy, Zhao Yi secretly said that he was bored. Immediately, his fingers slightly. Destruction. After a flash of purple on, the white energy disappeared instantly. Ah, why didn't you turn into chocolate? Fat Boo scratched his head suspiciously. You'd better save this question for later, Weiss, seal him. The god of destruction yawned. At this time, the gap between Fat Boo's strength and himself was too great, and he couldn't be interested at all. Follow your orders, god of destruction. With a wave of Whis' smiling cane, it immediately hit the naturally dumb Fat Boo on the head. Ah, it hurts, hurts, hurts. Boo, who was holding his head and screaming wildly, spewed out countless pink gas from the hole in his body in the next second, and wrapped himself in it at once, and finally formed a giant egg. Lord Weiss is amazing, he solved Boo in one fell swoop. Layla, did you see that? Shin's eyes let out little stars and looked at Wes excitedly. Okay, don't be ashamed, okay. Layla rolled her eyes at Shin, and then saluted the god of destruction again. Thank you, Lord God of Destruction, it's all because we are too conceited, otherwise, Lord God of Great Realm, they wouldn't die. Layla confessed her mistake to Zhao Yi with a sad face. HMPH, it's not too late to recognize the mistake, remember, your life is not just yours. Don't drag me if you want to die, and let me know in advance if you have something to do. Zhao Yi snorted coldly, because his own life was related to him, and he didn't care whether the other party was beautiful or not. After saying that, take Weiss and leave. P.S. In the original book, Layla was the first Kato to die, but how could such a beautiful Kato die just like that? Everyone said it was true, so I changed it a bit. Chapter 3. Beerus, you actually practice behind my back. God of Destruction, are we going back now? In the light, Whis looked at the god of destruction who closed his eyes and thought. Why are you going back? I finally came out once. By the way, do you know how to release the life link between me and Kaiwang God? Zhao Yi didn't want to be associated with the rookie chickens of the Realm King God all the time. Ho 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 ho, there's no way to get rid of it. Unless the god of destruction doesn't want to be the god of destruction, but if you don't become the god of destruction, the god of destruction won't have a long lifespan. Weiss said to Zhao Yi with a smile. Damn, it's too late, there is still such a thing. Zhao Yi's face was ugly. If he didn't have a long life, he had lived for tens of thousands of years. If he didn't become a god of destruction, wouldn't he become scum? No, it can't go on like this. Go to Super Dragon Ball, there should be a way for Super Dragon Ball. Thinking of this, Zhao Yi's eyes lit up. Weiss, do you know about Super Dragon Ball? Can he help me break this link? Zhao Yi stared at Weiss, who was always smiling in front of him. This bastard monitors himself every day, and when he becomes stronger, he must beat him up. Huh, how could the god of destruction know about this thing? Super Dragon Ball is made by the Dragon God. The Dragon God's status is higher than that of Lord Quanwang. The Super Dragon Ball can be unlinked, but we will see it. To the god of destruction, the most hated Mr. Elephant Paw. Weiss didn't say much. Although he was monitoring Zhao Yi, he was only advising the good side and the good work. As for the rest, as long as it didn't touch the interests of the angel family. Okay, isn't it just an elephant paw? I saw that I beat him once, and he robbed me of snacks when I was a child. At the mention of Shangpa, Zhao Yi became furious under the influence of his memory. Sure enough, brother or something, it's the most suitable to fight. Ho 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 ho, since the god of destruction doesn't mind seeing each other, then we'll set off. Weiss smiled, and then a little bit of the scepter in his hand, the two instantly turned into a light and disappeared into the starry sky. Under the tin rod that Whis can explore the universe and find the information of the Prophet Zuno who appeared in Dragon Ball Super. 3 days later, Zhao Yi smiled as he looked at the 7 incomparably huge Super Dragon Balls in front of him. Finally, you don't have to worry about dying accidentally that day. Zhao Yi gave Weiss a light gesture. I said God of Destruction, is it too disrespectful for you to come to my 6th universe to grab something? At this moment, a disgusting voice came from behind Zhao Yi. Come on, what should come is still here. Zhao Yi turned around with a cold face, just in time to see a fat cat wearing a God of Destruction suit standing in front of him. At the same time, an angel who looks very much like Weiss is also standing behind the fat cat. Fat cat, you know that I'm here. Zhao Yi asked himself that he and Wes were very careful in their actions, but Shangpa still found out. What? God of Destruction, what do you call me? Are you trying to fight? Shangpa's expression changed, completely ignoring the God of Destruction's question, waving his fists and charging towards the God of Destruction. Damn it, I thought I was a soft persimmon. If you want to fight, you can fight. Come on, who's afraid of who? Zhao Yi was not angry, and rushed up with his fists. The current Zhao Yi is not the God of Destruction in the original book. Standing at the top of the God of Destruction, he will beat the elephant with 3 fists and 2 feet. God of Destruction, you're actually cultivating behind my back, it's abominable. However, Shangpa is not a vegetarian either. He was beaten by Zhao Yi so hard that he wanted to punch Zhao Yi back. Boom. Countless roars came from the void, and the space began to tear open cracks. The entire 6th universe began to turmoil. The 2 angels who were smiling helplessly also looked solemn. Bang! At this moment, Zhao Yi was hit by Shangpa at the price of 100 punches, and the God of Destruction thought he was handsome in the face. In an instant, the entire space froze. Shangpa looked at his fist in disbelief. Zhao Yi also touched his Wu Qing's eyes with a confused expression. I actually hit the God of Destruction. Shangpa was overjoyed as if to continue his efforts. You actually hit me in the eye. But Zhao Yi's gloomy face instantly changed Shangpa's complexion. Ah, this is an accident, look, didn't I get beaten up more? Shangpa completely forgot that he was the victim, and hurriedly pointed at his face to destroy God's soft heart. HMPH, it's even. Zhao Yi snorted coldly, looked at the growing cracks around him and stopped attacking. If they continue to fight, Weiss and the others will start to stop themselves. Okay, it's evened out, it's evened out. Elephant Paco didn't want to be beaten anymore, so he hurriedly slipped behind Vados and hid. By the way, how did you know that we came to the sixth universe? Vados, you won't be idle to observe the universe, just happened to see us. Zhao Yi glanced angrily at Vados who was standing in front of Shangpa. Hee, the god of destruction is really right. Yesterday I was searching for good cosmetics. You know, although I am a god, but my age is the killer of girls. If you say that you are not angry, I just happened to see you. I was sneaking around looking for Super Dragon Balls with Whis, and the most annoying thing was that Whis robbed the last of my favorite cosmetics. Having said that, Vados looked at his brother Weiss with angry eyes. What? Because of this? Zhao Yi was speechless. Wei Wei actually went to buy cosmetics secretly behind his back, and even recruited such two gods of plague. Thinking of this, Zhao Yi glared at Weiss. Master God of Destruction, don't look at me with such eyes, people are afraid. Weiss was aggrieved like a little girl, and it seemed that Zhao Yi had another reason for wanting to beat Weiss. Chapter 4. Super Dragon, Wish Come True. But then again, God of Destruction, what are you doing with this Super Dragon Ball? Shangpa has returned to normal at this time, and the pig head on his face has completely recovered. Ah, it's just 2 days ago, 3 of the World King Gods in the 7th universe were killed by the Demon Boo, and the remaining 2 King Gods are really too bad, I don't want them to burp that day. Now, take me with you. Zhao Yi said, touched his eye sockets, found that he had recovered, and said slowly. What? Majin Buu, the Majin Buu who killed several gods of destruction in ancient times. How could he be resurrected? Vados said slightly surprised. Huh, Majin Buu killed the god of destruction. Why didn't you tell me, Weiss? Zhao Yi glanced at Vados in amazement. The ancient demon Buu was so powerful that he even killed the god of destruction. Ho ho ho, the god of destruction has never asked me, and these things are all before I was born. I don't know very well, but I just remember that my father said that the heyday of Majin Buu is now me. Can't beat it, but it seems that time has made him weaker slowly. Weiss explained to Zhao Yi with a smile. It turns out to be the case. No wonder someone discussed that if Majin Buu participated in the power conference, he would definitely be the first. After reading this, it is definitely not a casual talk. Zhao Yi decided slightly in his heart that the next time Majin Buu came out, he would kill him if he could, and if he didn't, he would also make the other party a good man who guarded the home just like the original book. Okay, are we talking about Majin Buu? God of Destruction, what do you want Super Dragon Ball for? Where is Shangpa in the mood to pay attention to the Demon Buu? Because Zhao Yi's words have already caught his attention, because the King God of the 6th universe is also a big fat man who only knows how to eat, sleep, and eat. The most important thing is that the strength is still poor. I just want to use Super Dragon Ball to undo the connection between me and Kaiwang God. I don't want to use a rookie to decide my fate. Zhao Yi's words brightened Shangpa's eyes. Is there such an operation? Then I have to cancel it, and I don't want to die accidentally. Shangpa hurriedly said to Zhao Yi. Well, add your name when the time comes, or wait another year if you don't. Zhao Yi nodded, and then gestured to Weiss. Weiss and Vados looked at each other and nodded, and then the two asked the great priest in their minds. The great priest who was far away in the Temple of All Kings smiled slightly. Let them go, just supervise their work. After the words of the great priest reached the minds of the 2 sisters and brothers, the 2 of them smiled slightly. Immediately, Whis came to the side of the 7 Super Dragon Balls. Come out, Shenlong, and then fulfill my wish, divine language. Immediately after Whis finished speaking, 7 Dragon Balls larger than the earth radiated dazzling rays of light, and the rays of light shot up into the sky in an instant, circling in the universe. Countless planets and galaxies are shrouded in super dragons. Fortunately, the super dragons are just phantoms and have not destroyed any planets. Otherwise, there will be a few more times, even if he is the god of destruction, he will be invited by the grand priest to drink tea. Am I the one you summoned? Gods of destruction, tell me your wishes. Super Shenlong doesn't take God of destruction and angels seriously at all. From this, it can be shown that the status of Super Shenlong is definitely at the level of the Great Priest or even higher. Shenlong, cut off the life connection between the two of us and the Kaio god of the 6th and 7th universes. Zhao Yi looked at the super dragon in front of him with a solemn expression, and expressed his wish. Shangpa on the side laughed when he heard that the god of destruction counted himself in it. Oh, well, it's easy. The red light in the super dragon's eyes flashed slightly, and for a moment, Zhao Yi felt that something in his mind seemed to be broken. I have fulfilled your wishes, so see you next time. After Shenlong performed his duties, it turned into a golden light, shattered and spread into the 7th and 8th universes. Ha ha ha, brother, I didn't see you wrong. This time I don't need to worry about whether that guy from Kaiwang Shen will die from high blood pressure. Shangpa came to Zhao Yi with a smile, and patted Zhao Yi's shoulder with his salty pig hand. Unfortunately, after Zhao Yi gave him a cold stare, Shangpa immediately retracted his hand in fright. Okay, my purpose is accomplished, Wes, let's go. Zhao Yi found that he had nothing to do. Are you still here with this nasty thing like Pak? After speaking, Weiss turned into a ray of light and disappeared in front of Shangpa and Vados. Let's go too, Vados, I'm going to have a big meal today to celebrate that I can take control of my own destiny. Shangpa said to Vados with a big smile. Lord Shangpa, I advise you to give up this idea. I told you long ago that if you want to lose weight on a diet, it's fine if you don't exercise, and you still want to eat so much. Look at you being beaten by the god of destruction. Quote. Vados seriously rejected Shangpa's idea. Nani, should I reduce it? I haven't eaten well for more than 1,000 years. Okay, Vados, be careful, I'll sue you for abusing me. Shangpa stared. No one knew how he had come here in the past 1,000 years. Every day, he served fruits and cold water, and there was no nutrition at all. The most annoying thing is that I still can't lose weight. Don't struggle, I don't want you to be the first god of destruction to die because of the 3 highs, let's go. After speaking, Vados took the elephant back to the destruction god realm with the wailing of the elephant. Chapter 5. Start cultivation. Sitting on the edge of the fish pond in destruction god realm, Zhao Yi looked at the school of fish swimming below. It seems that this free-spirited skill has been used once before, but I haven't mastered this skill well. Otherwise, I'll have a certain degree of confidence in going up to Weiss. Zhao Yi touched his chin and thought. But looking at the previous situation of the god of destruction, it seems that I have never practiced well. Ever since I took the seat of the god of destruction, I have eaten, slept, eaten every day, and went out every now and then to find out if there is anything delicious. Looking at God of Destruction's actions in his mind, Zhao Yi was speechless. How can he become stronger like this? Just kidding. Well, although the God of Destruction is inherently strong. But who is Zhao Yi? In the future, Zhao Yi is going to punch the old priest and kick the existence of Quanwang primary school students. How can he be so decadent? You must know that Gokong's strength has already reached his own level after the power conference. There are also some fighting skills to learn. Otherwise, if you are defeated by people with lower strength than you in the future, you will not be able to justify it. Zhao Yi remembered many moves in Dragon Ball, and his heart was slightly excited. These moves are very powerful. Although he destroys energy, is it not very useful to use destroy energy casually? Thinking of this, Zhao Yi raised his throat. Weiss, where the hell are you? Zhao Yi's loud voice shook the entire destruction god realm. Come here, here comes the Loon family, Lord God of Destruction, why are you looking for me? Weiss flew over from a distance in a panic, with a mask on his face. I want to practice. The God of Destruction said coldly. Nani, you are the noble God of Destruction. How can you practice as sweaty as those warriors? If only you were fine before. Weiss shook his head quickly, training a rookie like Gokong, but he was in the mood. If he was asked to train an existence like the god of destruction, he wouldn't be exhausted, and he didn't want to touch up makeup every day. Stop talking nonsense to me, you forgot what happened the other day. I was beaten by the elephant. Do you know how serious this is? Zhao Yi knew at a glance that Weiss was shirking responsibility, and he definitely didn't want to tire himself. Lord God of Destruction, think twice, didn't you beat the elephant to the bottom of the blood? Why should you be so serious about your own brothers? Weiss is still, kindly, persuading Zhao Yi. You are afraid of being tired, just say it directly, don't make these excuses for me, but I remember that your duty is to teach me to practice and supervise my work. How can you forget your work? Zhao Yi's words instantly embarrassed Weiss. Yes, everything the god of destruction says is right. Weiss had to compromise in the end. Let me prepare first, but this place can't stand the destruction of the god of destruction. Weiss smiled and swiped the tin stick in his hand, and in an instant, two people appeared in a void. At a glance, Zhao Yi saw more than a dozen huge balls of light suspended not far away. Are these the universes that still exist? Sure enough, the training of the god of destruction must not be held in ordinary places. There is nothing in the realm of nowhere. After Weiss came here, he swiped the tin stick in his hand, and instantly a huge square appeared in the boundless world, which was tens of millions of kilometers long at a glance. Okay, god of destruction, our training is about to start, please don't cry, ho 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 ho. Weiss looked at Zhao Yi mockingly. After all, the god of destruction in the original book disliked cultivation the most. Every time I practice, I have to sigh. This time Zhao Yi proposed to practice, and Weiss just thought it was a 3-minute enthusiasm. You give me less nonsense, just train if you tell me. What Zhao Yi can't see the most is Weiss' expressions, making him look like a real cat. It's decided, when I'm good, the first one to play is Weiss. Zhao Yi glanced at Weiss coldly, making the other party uncomfortable for a while. Okay, let's start with the most basic meditation. The god of destruction has slept for such a long time this time. The energy in the body must be out of control, and even people like Babidi can detect the damage. If the whereabouts of Lord God are known, Lord Shanka will definitely laugh at Lord God of Destruction. Quote. Weiss' words made Zhao Yi slightly embarrassed. Didn't he just cross over? He wasn't used to it, and besides, the tiger still had time to take a nap. How exactly? Zhao Yi sat cross-legged in the center of the square. And under the explanation of Weiss, Zhao Yi finally started his first practice after coming to Dragon Ball World. So that's how Qi is used. It seems that even if you have the memory of the god of destruction, you still need to practice hard. Zhao Yi's body began to emit a terrifying purple light, and the whole world of nothingness was shaking. Master God of Destruction, remember to restrain yourself. Weiss was not far away, and he took out an ice cream-like thing from nowhere and reminded Zhao Yi while eating. Don't talk too much, I know. Zhao Yi let out an angry roar, and then began to restrain his momentum. 1 second, 2 seconds. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 1 hour. Time was flowing slowly, and the terrifying aura that erupted from Zhao Yi gradually returned to calm. After all, Zhao Yi, who has the memory of the god of destruction, only needs to find skills from his memory and use them. When Zhao Yi's momentum completely disappeared, Weiss also put away the snacks in his hand and came to Zhao Yi. Yes, this time, the god of destruction entered the state a lot faster than before, so I'll give you a reward. Weiss smiled and took out a lollipop. Zhao Yi opened his eyes and looked at the lollipop and his complexion turned dark. And Weiss looked at Zhao Yi with a nonchalant smile. Weiss, you think I'm a child? The originally restrained momentum immediately spewed out of Zhao Yi's body. A fist carrying purple destructive energy hit Weiss. Ho 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 ho, god of destruction, you are too angry. Weiss did not take Zhao Yi's fist in his eyes at all. Weiss, your shoelaces are loose. As soon as Zhao Yi's words came out, Weiss looked at his feet subconsciously. Hey, no. Weiss raised his head suspiciously, and suddenly a fist the size of a casserole appeared in front of his eyes. Go to hell, brat. Zhao Yi sneered. But just when Zhao Yi thought he could take revenge, Weiss flashed, and missed Zhao Yi's fist by the slightest. The white light that flashed over Weiss made Zhao Yi's complexion change slightly. Zizai Ji Yi Gong. It's really amazing. Zhao Yi knew that with his current strength, it was almost impossible to beat Weiss. Okay, I'm going to practice Zizai Ji Gong, let's get started. Zhao Yi withdrew his fist, as if what just happened had never happened. Chapter 6. Frozen Demon Clan. Under the training of Weiss, years passed quickly. Zhao Yi has completely mastered the first stage of his ultimate freedom. There are 3 stages in total. The first stage is that the body emits a silver light, and then the eyes turn silver. At this stage, the free extreme will power, although the strength bonus is very large, but the only disadvantage is that it can only passively dodge. Equivalent to invincible defense tactics. Zhao Yi was not very proficient in the second stage of the ultimate free will, and only then could Weiss be able to perform it once or twice when he abused himself. Sir, God of Destruction, you haven't fallen into hibernation for many years, and your God of Destruction body can't hold on anymore. This time's cultivation is over. On this day, Weiss came to Zhao Yi and said to Zhao Yi seriously. Humph, I see. Since Zhao Yi became the God of Destruction, he has discovered a fucking fact. That is, the destruction energy of the God of Destruction consumes a lot of physical strength. And recovery is very difficult. So God of Destruction always falls asleep after working for a while. Don't complain, Lord God of Destruction. When you have fully mastered the ultimate inspiration technique, you will no longer have to hibernate all the time. But before you go to bed, don't forget to destroy a few planets. This is your job. Weiss said with a smile, which also made Zhao Yi intensify his pursuit of Zizai Ji Yi Gong. Let's go back, this time, find me a planet where I do things every day, and share a little with the Kaiwang God and the others, otherwise if they are killed, it will be troublesome for the King of Quan to find a new bond with me. Quote. Zhao Yi was also heartbroken for the 2 incompetent realm gods. Under the leadership of Weiss, Zhao Yi returned to the 7th universe. Weiss searched, and Zhao Yi targeted a few planets that would make a fortune as a space pirate. Zhao Yi saw a very familiar race from these planets. The Frozen Demon family is actually Frieza's race. This race has a long history, so it's better to visit Frieza's ancestors. The Frozen Demon family, who have always been working as space pirates, has unparalleled prestige in the 6th and 7th universes. Of course, the Frozen Demons thousands of years ago were still only relatively simple people. There are not many people who have reached the level of Frieza at the beginning. In the universe, on a planet covered with ice and snow all the year round, several tall humanoid creatures walked on the surface of the planet. At the same time, there are also people flying back from the universe. This planet has no air or atmosphere, and is completely exposed in the starry sky. If the Earthlings came here, they would die in an instant. Brush. A light flashed from the sky. Zhao Yi and Weiss appeared above the frozen star. Weiss, check how many people there are in this race. Zhao Yi's eyes narrowed. He originally thought that if the productivity of the Frozen Demon clan was low, there would be very few people, but it seems not. Reporting to the God of Destruction, there are now 78 people in the Frozen Demon family. Except for King Lild leading a few personal guards to fight in the universe, everyone else is welcoming the arrival of the newborn. Weiss, words made Zhao Yi nodded slightly. In that case, let them be destroyed. Zhao Yi tapped his fingertips slightly, and a purple light flashed across the sky. In an instant, the entire frozen star seemed to be melted and disappeared without a trace. And the Frozen Demon family above has all died. Fortunately Frieza is a royal family, otherwise I would be embarrassed to start. Let's go, Weiss, and meet King Lild. Zhao Yi smiled slightly. Yes, God of Destruction. With a swipe of the scepter in Weiss' hand, the two once again turned into a light and disappeared into the starry sky. Zhao Yi, who was in flight, fell into contemplation. My current strength should be about 10 times stronger than before. According to the division of combat power, it should reach 10,000 Gai, which should be 100 times stronger than Golden Frieza. But this is just pure data. If you use destructive energy, Frieza is 1,000,000 times stronger than my opponent, and it's even more so with the free extreme mind power. Over the past few years, Zhao Yi has also roughly figured out Whis' strength. In fact, Whis' strength is only about 5,000 Gao, but his free-spirited power can reach the second level. It was Gokong who abused Jiren. White God form. After all, Zhao Yi almost defeated Whis when he accidentally entered the second order Zizai Jigong a few times, but because he was not very skilled, it was only a draw with Whis. The strength of the great priest should be at least a perfect form of Zizi Jigong. Alas, it seems that there is a long way to go. Although he was born as a god of destruction, Zhao Yi also knew that if he didn't work hard, the future King Quan would do whatever he wanted to do with him. God of destruction, here we are. At this moment, Whis stopped in the starry sky, and in front of Zhao Yi and Whis was a huge disc-shaped spaceship. Drip drip. Alarm alert, detected a person with a huge amount of energy, detected a person with a huge amount of energy. After Zhao Yi gave out a little bit of energy, the real spaceship began to flash a dazzling red light. King Lild, who was sitting in the huge seat in the cab, changed his expression immediately after hearing this voice. The energy is huge. This is an alarm sound that will only appear when the combat power reaches 1,000,000. Who is coming? King Lild's strength is simply not as high as Frieza's father and son in the original book. After all, they only dare to be cosmic pirates, but Frieza and his son are cosmic emperors. This is also the reason why Frieza and his son are a little curious about the so-called Super Saiyans, but they are not afraid at all. King Lild, what are we going to do? The surrounding clansmen swallowed and asked Lild in confusion. HMPH, I want to see who dares to act wild in front of my King Lild. Lild flew out of the spaceship with trembling legs. King Lild is mighty. As expected, he is a model of my cosmic pirate. King Lelder is here, who would say that we are the opponent of the Frozen Demon clan. A group of clansmen who could only call 666 just got out of the cabin in Lild, and they silently sealed the cabin door tightly, and left only if the momentum was wrong. Chapter 7. A familiar figure. Lild just walked out of the hatch when he heard a click of the hatch behind him, and his expression changed suddenly. Damn, I'm not dead yet, so blatantly doing things like this, I won't kill you all when I go back. Lild didn't know that he had been abandoned by his own people. For the Frozen Demon clan, friendship, loyalty and so on are just bullshit. That fool came to hang around in the vicinity of my King Lild. Look at the frightening of my spaceship. Lild bravely shouted at the front. Brush. Lild just finished speaking, and there were two more figures in front of him. Seeing these two figures not knowing what was going on, Lild was actually a little scared in his heart. You, who are you? Lild forcibly suppressed the fear in his heart and shouted at Zhao Yi. Lild King's dishes are actually very simple. The Kurdish king of the Frozen clan is a sudden mutant with unusual fighting power. The Emperor of the Universe is asexually reproduced from his father himself, so he possesses the powerful elements of mutants. Therefore, although they are called the Emperors of the Universe, in fact, they are the only two individuals with unusual combat power and cruelty. Of course, there is his brother in the movie version, and I don't know if it is really there. But what is certain is that the Frozen Demon family only became powerful from the beginning of the Kurdish king. The previous Frozen Demon family known as Space Pirates were all rookies with a combat power of tens of millions. Weiss, do you think this bitch is insane? Now that we know we're strong, we're still hanging like this. Zhao Yi silently watched his legs trembling in front of him, but he still put on a Lild who was not afraid of the universe. But it is worth mentioning that this King Lild really looks like Frieza's second stage and Kurd in the anime. Ho ho ho, God of Destruction, you probably don't know, this race is not good at all, but this race is very self-respecting. If you push them, it's not impossible for them to work hard. Weiss explained slowly. Lild was also furious when the two of them didn't take them seriously. Dare to put me in the eyes of King Lild, and die. A red ball of light condensed in Lild's hand. Whoa. Boom. Suddenly, a purple light slid across Lild's cheek and bombarded the round spaceship behind him. After a roar, Lild turned his head quickly. I saw that the round spaceship behind him had disappeared. Gudong. King Lild swallowed. Oh, it's so boring, if you say that you will transform into a kid. Zhao Yi made a hash. If the appearance of King Lild at this time is speculated according to Frieza's situation, there should be a third stage and a fourth stage. Change. King Lild stammered. Yeah, don't you? Zhao Yi buttoned his nails in a bored manner and asked Lild at the same time. I won't. What is transformation? Sure enough, Zhao Yi saw from the very beginning that Lild had no hidden strength, and it seemed that transformation was also the patent of Frieza and King Kurd. However, the unfortunate Kurd was killed by Trunks before he could transform. Really sad family. Okay, go away, I'm not interested in killing you either. If there is no Frieza after killing this guy, although it will be nothing to Zhao Yi, it will be a pity anyway. Can you tell me your name? Liard was relieved when he learned that his life could be saved, but he still asked Zhao Yi. Ho, this is the most powerful deity in the universe, the God of Destruction, Lord God of Destruction, you're really lucky that you didn't die. Weiss covered his mouth and smiled. Speak up. Zhao Yi snorted coldly, but he was still happy in his heart. After all, this forced pretense was pretty good. God of Destruction. Well, I remember, I'm busy with housework, farewell. After Lild knew Zhao Yi's name, he quickly found an excuse to escape. Bah, there's no home anymore, you are still busy with housework. Zhao Yi spat at Lild's back as he ran away. Okay, let's go to the next one. After experiencing what happened to King Lild, Zhao Yi destroyed dozens of life planets, and those living planets were generally those cosmic pirates. Some races are more powerful than the frozen demons. When Zhao Yi came to the last planet to be destroyed, he saw a somewhat familiar figure. Bafur, you killed hundreds of millions of my green devils, I want you to die today. A sausage mouth, a green figure that looks a bit like Piccolo is fighting a big fat man with red skin. Well, the combat power of these two people has reached 1 million. It's quite powerful. It's not enough. This sausage mouth looks like I've seen it before. Zhao Yi put his hands behind his back, his eyes narrowed, and he thought to himself as he watched the two figures who were fighting fiercely in the planet. King Frieza, this Bafur is the leader of the planet we want to destroy, but it seems to me that everyone on this planet was killed by the one who fought against him. Weiss, words made Zhao Yi nod slightly. From the mouth of the sausage, Zhao Yi could see a strong sense of justice. Although this man killed a planet, it seems that it should be revenge. Stinky boy, dare to slaughter all my clansmen, you die for me. Bafur was also furious, and his red skin exuded bursts of hot breath. HMPH, let's die together. Sausage Mouth started to dance awkwardly after speaking, and finally Sausage Mouth clenched his fists with both hands and pointed his arms straight at Bafur in front of him. This action is... Zhao Yi's eyes narrowed. Lightning cannon. P.S. Hey, who can guess who the Sausage Mouth is? They are the great gods who can defeat Xilu. Chapter 8. Fall into a deep sleep. Lightning cannon. The Sausage Mouth roared, and then terrifying fluctuations broke out on his body, and an invisible energy rushed towards Bafur. What? Bafur felt the strong breath of death, and then the whole person turned into a fiery red beam of light, which escaped the attack range of the Sausage Mouth in an instant. HMPH, it's a pity. The Sausage Mouth closed, and he gasped for a few rough breaths. Kid, die. The beam of light that Bafur turned into rushed towards the mouth of the sausage in an instant. But the Sausage Mouth did not move at all, as if the attack just now had used up all his strength. Just as the light that Buffer turned into rushed towards the sausage mouth smiled and smiled happily. Look, we don't need to take action, God of Destruction. Weiss looked at the battle below with a smile. Yeah, that's fine too. Zhao Yi nodded slightly, not expecting that he would encounter the time when the sausage mouth died. That's right, this sausage mouth is the #1 master of the underworld in the original book. When Gokong met him in the original book, his strength was not comparable to that of the realm king Shenshin. And just when Buffer's attack was about to hit the pork ribs began to spin like crazy. Exclusive cyclone in row. Quote. A violent tornado that runs through the heavens and the earth instantly formed. Buffer was sucked in before he could react. The fiery red light and shadow instantly dyed the entire tornado red. The planet at this time is like the end of the day, and the tornado will destroy it wherever it goes. This move is not bad, but it's useless when encountering a strong player who can play the universe. Zhao Yi's words made Weiss nodded with a smile. Yeah, but there is no gas in the universe to make him a tornado. While the two were chatting, the battle on the ground was also decided. Bang! A fiery red figure fell heavily to the ground, smashing the ground into a big hole. This person is Buffer, and at this time he has no voice. Hoo. Finally, it's over. Pork Ribs Rice panted heavily and fell to the ground with difficulty, with a smile on his face. What are you doing to kill him with your own life force? Zhao Yi and Weiss slowly fell to the ground and asked solemnly to the Pork Ribs. Hee, for what? I'm not very clear. Maybe it's for revenge, or maybe it's for my family to stop being bullied. The Pork Ribs slowly knelt down on the ground and said sadly. For the family. Zhao Yi stared at the Pork Ribs Rice that was slowly losing its breath in front of him, and fell into contemplation. What is the meaning of my coming here? Is it to be the God of Destruction like the God of Destruction? God of Destruction, what's the matter with you? Weiss shook suspiciously in front of Zhao Yi's eyes. I'm fine. Zhao Yi turned around, slowly flew up, and flew out of space. When he came to space, Zhao Yi pointed slightly at his fingertips, and a purple light shot onto the planet. Silently, without a trace of fluctuation, the entire planet disappeared without a trace. The only thing that still exists is the corpse of Pork Ribs floating in the universe. Let's go, things are done, my divine body can't hold it anymore. Zhao Yi said to Wes expressionlessly. Yes, the God of Destruction looks like a real murderer. Weiss looked scared, but he seemed to know that Zhao Yi was in a bad mood at this time, so he didn't touch Zhao Yi's bad head. And after the God of Destruction and the others disappeared, the corpse of the Pork Ribs also disappeared. In the underworld. Lord Shiji Wang, why do you have time to come to my place today? The King of Hell spoke to the King of the Western Realm slightly respectfully. Of course it's a big deal, hurry up and help me get me the corpse of the Pork Ribs Rice that Green Devil Star just died of. The King of the Western Realm said anxiously to the King of Hell. And seeing the other party's appearance, Yan Wang did not dare to be vague. After some operations, a green figure appeared in front of Hades. What happened to the Western Realm King? This man seems to have killed hundreds of millions of people, although it was to protect his clan, but only at this time did the King of Hell dare to ask the King of the Western Realm. What do you know? This person is someone who is taken care of by the God of Destruction. Not to mention killing hundreds of millions of people, even tens of billions are false. If the God of Destruction wants him to be his successor in the future. The words of the Western Realm King immediately shocked the King of Hell. He is actually the God of Destruction, the highest God in the universe. In an instant, the way he looked at the corpse of Pork Ribs changed. On the other hand, Zhao Yi, of course, didn't know that he just let these people think so crazy without destroying the Pork Ribs Rice. And Zhao Yi was not in the mood to think about it, because the cells in his body had already started to deplete. The energy of the whole body has been hollowed out by the energy of destruction. After returning to Destruction God realm, Zhao Yi fell asleep. I forgot to let the God of Destruction brush my teeth. It's really not a good habit to sleep without brushing my teeth. Weiss smiled and watched Zhao Yi sleep soundly on the bed. The scepter in his hand pointed slightly towards Zhao Yi, and the clothes on Zhao Yi's body instantly turned into a set of pajamas. And after Weiss was done, he flew out of the room full of alarm clocks. Chapter 9. Sleep for 2,000 years. As time passed, the destructive energy in Zhao Yi's body in his sleep recovered rapidly. Of course, this rapid recovery is only relative to other gods of destruction. This time, it took Zhao Yi thousands of years to recover. Of course, the benefits of Zhao Yi's acquisition are also obvious. His original strength of 1,000 Gai has grown directly to the level of 5,000 Gai within a few thousand years. When you reach the realm of God of Destruction, your strength will increase greatly every time you grow. At the same time, its God of Destruction energy is slowly condensing. Weiss, who was by his side, was surprised after hundreds of years. The destructive energy of the God of Destruction has grown so fast, which has caught up with the level of his growth in the past 100,000 years. The rapid growth of Zhao Yi's strength still depends on the fact that the soul of the God of Destruction is catalyzed by the original Zhao Yi's soul, which has undergone a qualitative change. Zhao Yi's talent grows a little bit every year. Over thousands of years, Zhao Yi's talent has grown hundreds of times. And when the original novel was still 1,000 years away, Zhao Yi slowly opened his eyes. Ha! Zhao Yi stretched his waist and stared sleepily at Weiss in front of him. Hamapi, Weiss, why are you here? An angry scolding spread throughout the Destruction God realm. Zhao Yi hurriedly touched the chrysanthemum under his tail, and found that he was fine, and he wasn't blown away by the chrysanthemum. Zhao Yi, who was relieved, immediately glared at Weiss. Whoops, what is Lord Destroyer looking at me like this? People are just watching over Lord Destroyer, oh. Weiss covered his face and wept, seeing that Zhao Yi didn't say a word and punched him. At the same time, Zhao Yi also radiated white light. Wow, the God of Destruction hit someone. Weiss hurriedly activated the second stage of the free will, and his body flashed past Zhao Yi's fist in an instant. Zhao Yi, who was empty, instantly took back the momentum of his whole body. HMPH, it's still a little bit worse. Zhao Yi, who took a sip, flew towards the washroom. Tell me, what happened recently? Zhao Yi asked Weiss while rinsing his mouth. Looking at Zhao Yi, Weiss, who pretended nothing happened for a moment, he sighed helplessly. If you beat yourself down, you can tease Zhao Yi. Zhao Yi just guessed that Weiss was raising himself as a cat, so he never gave the other party a chance to tease him. Ho, the God of Destruction rarely cares about the affairs of the universe. They are even more dedicated than the World King God and the others. Zhao Yi was slightly taken aback by Weiss' smiling words. Is this realm god so irresponsible? No wonder so many things happened without knowing it. Zhao Yi was also speechless. The Zhuangshan were just a bunch of guys who ate, slept, and ate. All things in the universe were heard before. If they hadn't been born well, they would have been eliminated long ago. No, this is the realm of the gods, the God of Destruction can take a look. Weiss stretched out the crystal ball on the scepter to Zhao Yi. Zhao Yi, who was brushing his teeth all over again, watched. In the picture, the Eastern Realm King Shenchi is lying on the lawn of the Realm King God realm, basking in the sun leisurely. And a big red-skinned man was serving him. This person's name is Jibit. He is a strong man selected from the Great Realm King. He was originally the #1 expert in the Great Realm King realm, but since the pork ribs rice went to the underworld to practice for 2,000 years, he has become the second master of the Great Realm King realm, and was later chosen to be the attendant of the Eastern Realm King God. As soon as Weiss finished speaking, Zhao Yi was stunned. What did you just say? Zhao Yi asked Weiss with a surprised look on his face. Well, Lord God of Destruction, didn't you hear clearly? I'm saying it again. This person's name is Jabit, and he is a strong man selected from the great realm king. Whis said again. How many years do you say I slept? Zhao Yi was stunned. What the hell was pork ribs rice that entered the underworld thousands of years ago? Ah, the god of destruction slept for a long time this time. Maybe it's the reason why all the power of the god of destruction has been used up. You have slept for 2,650 years this time. Whis' words caused Zhao Yi to spray the mouthwash on Whis' face. More than 2,600 years, you kid me. Even if Zhao Yi didn't want to accept the fact, in the end he could only accept the fact that he had been sleeping for more than 2,000 years. Okay, by the way, what is the Western Realm King God doing? Zhao Yi helplessly washed his face with cold water and calmed himself down. Of course, he accepted this fact only after he felt the energy in his body had grown several times stronger. No wonder the god of destruction doesn't like to practice cultivation. It turns out that it is because of sleeping that he can become stronger. The king of the Western Realm returned to Xingrenxing to receive training again after the death of the great realm king and a group of people. Now his strength has been many times stronger, and of course he is not an opponent compared to Majin Buu. Weiss, words made Zhao Yi nodded slightly. Just have a motivated person. By the way, I just remembered that there is still an old man above the realm of the realm king who was sealed by me. Go and meet him. Zhao Yi searched from his memory to find the old realm god who talked back to him millions of years ago. At that time, he was young and vigorous and directly sealed him up, which caused the fault of the realm god in this universe for tens of thousands of years. Follow your orders, god of destruction. Chapter 10. The Old Realm King God. Jebet, do you know what food you've found lately? Xin, who was lying on the lawn, felt very comfortable at this time. Since the great realm king god and the others died, he didn't have to be forced to practice, and the Western realm king god also returned to his hometown. And he used his rights to find a servant, and also let the other party learn the teleportation and life energy necessary for Kaiwang God. I can almost be a hands-off shopkeeper, and the happiest thing is that the last two sessions of the Kaiwangshan and the God of Destruction were not held because the God of Destruction fell asleep. Reporting to Lord Zhuangshan, I recently found a fruit in a sealed planet. It is said to be the best fruit in the world. I will take it for you. Jabit smiled and looked at Xin, the king of the world who raised his body like a pig. So good. Hurry up and get it for me. Realm King Xin's saliva was about to flow out, and Jabit flew towards the hall with a smile. Oh, why is the king of the world so happy? If you want to tell me, I'll be happy too. At this moment, a joking voice made Kaiwang Shenxin's body instantly stiffen. Bibi, god of destruction. Why are you here? Xin stammered and ran to Zhao Yi and knelt down. Zhao Yi looked at Xin, who was obviously of the same level as himself, but felt a chill again when he knelt down when he saw him. This bitch is exactly the same as the little our countryman. He kneels down at every turn. Is his serval thinking so strong? Okay, get up. Zhao Yi lightly glanced at Xin who was kneeling on the ground. Did God of Destruction and Weiss-sama have any orders this time? When Zhao Yi asked him to stand up, Xin felt a deep sense of respect. The God of Destruction isn't that scary, isn't it? I'm here to meet an old friend this time, and it has nothing to do with you. After Zhao Yi glanced at the Realm King God lightly, he flew directly to the top of a stone pillar-like mountain in the realm of the Realm King God, followed by Weiss. Old friend, will there be other people in the realm of the realm? Xin scratched his head suspiciously. Lord Kaiwangshan, here comes the fruit. At this moment, Jabit appeared in front of Xin with a plate of fruit. Just after he appeared, his eyes caught sight of Zhao Yi and Weiss, who were standing on the distant mountain peaks. Bold madman, dare to come to the realm of kings and gods to be wild. Jabit roared, and immediately disappeared in place with a terrifying aura. Grass, Jabit, don't do it. Xin's originally white complexion turned completely white at this moment. Bang. Sure enough, after a loud bang, Jabit shot from a distance like a meteorite. Oops, I've angered the god of destruction. Shin hurriedly flew up to catch Jabit. But seeing the speed at which Jabit flew back upside down, his expression changed and he hurriedly slipped away. Boom. After a roar, the earth shattered, and a huge pothole appeared in the realm of the king. Gudong. Shin swallowed and hurriedly flew down, looking at Jabit, who was no longer in human form, and felt the world spinning. Damn it, what would I do if the god of destruction gave me this too? But Jabit was his servant anyway, so Shin quickly took him out of the pit. Oops, I won't save people. Shin finally thought of a grim fact. In order to be lazy, he didn't learn the skills of a real king, and let Jabit learn it all. Unfortunately, it's time to change to a more powerful bodyguard. That pork ribs rice seems to be good, but he is too arrogant. If Jabit knew about this, Shin had already thought about changing himself, and if he found someone to serve him again, he would not be directly angry. Lord Zhuangshan, if you look at him like this, isn't it a little bad not to save him? At this moment, Weiss and Zhao Yi had already flown back. Weiss smiled and looked at Kaiwangshan standing in front of the street with a thoughtful face, and asked in confusion. Zhao Yi, on the other hand, stared at the sword in his hand in a daze. Shin, who was asked by Weiss, was embarrassed for a while, but he was stunned when he saw the sword in Zhao Yi's hand. Is this the Realm King Divine Sword? The god of destruction can actually pull it out. It's amazing. Shin's flattery made Zhao Yi very embarrassed. Could it be that I can't draw this sword and it won't be powerful? Zhao Yi's cold question made Shin so frightened that he immediately knelt down and kowtowed to Zhao Yi with his butt upside down. Okay, Weiss, save him. As Zhao Yi said that, he raised two fingers and slashed towards the sword of the Realm King. Chang. After a crash, the sword, which was supposed to be the strongest in the universe when pulled out, shattered. Break off. Off. Kaiwangshan felt that his three views were refreshed. The Realm King Divine Sword, which he regarded as a holy relic, was actually broken, but after looking at Zhao Yi who broke the Realm King Divine Sword, the Realm King God swallowed his saliva and didn't dare to say anything. Old thing, don't you want to come out when you hide in it? Do you want me to seal you for hundreds of thousands of years? Zhao Yi's indifferent words made the Zhuangshan wonder, where did the old thing come from? Don't, I'll come out. The old world king, who had planned to hide in the sword to avoid the limelight, quickly turned into a cloud of smoke and came out of it. Smoke filled the surroundings of broken sword, and then he turned into a squatted and wretched old man. Somehow Zhao Yi wanted to hit the old man as soon as he saw his beard. Sure enough, I still hate our country's styling from the bottom of my heart. And Zhao Yi's icy eyes made the old realm king's complexion change suddenly. Lord God of Destruction, when I was young and ignorant, you, Lord, bypassed me in large numbers. The old king of the realm begged Zhao Yi for mercy, but he didn't want to be sealed again. Chapter 11. Combination, the God of Jabit. Shin, who was on the side, was stunned when he saw the old god of the realm, because he actually felt a strong divinity from the other's body. But naturally timid, he dared not interrupt. As long as you don't bother me, I won't seal you. Zhao Yi glanced at the old god of the realm lightly. Speaking of which, this old realm god is also doing things. Ever since he merged with the old witch, he has become a bit arrogant, and actually openly said that the profession of the God of Destruction was a mistake in the Millennium Council of the God of Destruction and the King of Kings, and wanted to apply for the dismissal of this position with King Quan. As a result, it is conceivable that this old guy was directly sealed by the God of Destruction into the realm King Divine Sword for countless years. If it weren't for the fact that he would die after killing this old boy, the God of Destruction would have wanted to kill him. Don't dare, don't dare. The old god of the realm apologized again and again. Countless years of dark life have made him decide to fight against Zhao Yi. Yo, isn't this the Kaiwangshan from 15 generations ago? Long time no see. After Wiz-healed Jabit, he slowly floated behind Zhao Yi and said to the old god of the realm. Lord Weiss, it's been a long time, your health is fine. The old Kaiwang god hurriedly greeted Whis. And Shin, who was watching the conversation between the old god and Zhao Yi, looked confused. The wretched old man in front of him was actually a realm god, and he was also a realm god 15 generations ago. This is the grandfather. Well, I didn't ask you to catch up with the past when I brought you out. Look at this descendant behind you. Zhao Yi interrupted the old god of the realm who was still trying to speak. After hearing Zhao Yi's words, the old Jia Wangshen turned to look at the Jia Wangshen that Zhao Yi said. Huh, you're the king of the world this year. Huh, your strength is so low. The old god of the realm frowned slightly when he saw Shin Jun's strength and sagging body. You are the ancestor. I am the Eastern Realm King Shen Shin this time, you are in good health. Shin nodded and bowed his waist, causing the old Jia Wangshen to frown. This offspring seems a little unreliable. By the way, what do you mean by the Eastern Realm King God? The Realm King God still divides things. The old Realm King asked suspiciously. I'll talk about it later. I'll let you out to teach you a good junior. Of course, the most important thing is to let you pay attention to the development of the universe. The combat power level of my 7th universe is already below the average level. If it continues like this, if it is destroyed by Lord Quanwang, you will know the result. Zhao Yi clearly remembered that there were 18 universes in the original universe, but now there are only 12. The remaining few have been destroyed by the Quanwang. Alright. The old man must remember that the recent young people are not good enough. The old Realm King nodded again and again. That's all, I'm going to work, and the Eastern Realm King God will leave it to you. After Zhao Yi finished speaking to the old Realm God, he took Weiss and left the realm of realm gods. I'm finally gone, the terrifying god of destruction. Dongji Wang Shenshin wiped his sweat. What's your name? And who is this man next to you? There was a flash of light in the eyes of the old Jia Wangshen, and he looked at Shin's whole body all at once, and his complexion suddenly changed. In the original novel, Shin was still threatened by the possessed Bu, and he was the only one of Kaiwang, so he worked extra hard. In the end, he was asked to wait until Babidi was about to die of old age. After Babidi sealed the demon Bu, the Kaiwang god appeared and killed Babidi, and hid the demon Bu in a hidden place. It greatly extended the time for Babidi to grow in the future and the time to find Majin Bu. Of course, Shin relaxed after that, but these hundreds of years have also made him a semi-qualified world king god who can at least be on his own. Now, with Zhao Yi's intervention, it can be said that Shin is a salted fish now. Under Shin's explanation, the old realm god finally knew. Damn, the god of destruction is so heartbroken that he threw such a pot to himself. Looking at Shin, who was a little muddy and couldn't support the wall, the old god of the realm fell into contemplation. Tomorrow I will go to Xingrenxing to bring back the Western Realm King God. The words of the old king of the realm made Jabit sigh slightly, and the old king of the realm meant to give up Shin. By the way, your name is Jabit. The old Kaiwang god suddenly smiled and said to Jabit. Yes, ancestor. Although he didn't know what the old realm king was thinking, he still respectfully replied. Sim, you put your left earring on Jabit. The words of the old realm god made the two of them stunned for a moment, and then they did as they did. The moment Jabit put on the earrings, a terrifying suction force sucked the two towards each other. Help, help, help. Shin and Jabit panicked and tried to break free, but unfortunately the power of Patara's earrings was not something they could resist. In an instant, the two stuck together and finally turned into a ray of light. After the light dissipated, a tall young man with long white hair in Jabit's clothes appeared on the spot. Hey, what a powerful strength, is this me? A thick voice came from the young man's mouth. No, this is a mirror, take a good look at it. A light flashed in the hands of the old realm god, and a mirror appeared in his hand. Ah, who is this? It looks so much like me. Jabit god looked at the person in the mirror and giggled. The old Kaiwangshan was instantly shocked by the stupidity of Jabit. Take a good look, this is who you are now. Chapter 12. Adrat. Nani. This is me. God Jabbat put his head in his hands and looked at the old Kaiwang in disbelief. Because if Kaiwangshan and ordinary people are combined, only Kaiwangshan will remain in the end, so the thoughts of Jabbat at this time are the thoughts of Kaiwangshan Shin. Okay, this will be the usefulness of the Potala earrings. I was also handsome at the beginning, but one day I was accidentally robbed of an earring by an old witch, and I became so ugly. The expression on the old Kaiwangshan's face made Jabbat nodded in a daze. No wonder I've become so strong. Ha, so strong is that I'm not afraid of encountering Majin Buu. Jabbat smiled proudly. What? Majin Buu, that was the great god of terror in the ancient times, how did you know that? The old Kaiwangshan didn't know that Majin Buu had appeared. Under God's explanation, Jabbat's expression turned solemn. From today onwards, you will give me a good training in the realm of the king of the gods, and I will supervise your progress. Alas, now I can only pray that the strength of the devil Buu will be reduced a little more after he wakes up again, otherwise we can only ask for help to destroy it. God. The words of the old Kaiwang god made Jabbat's expression change slightly. The dignified realm king, still needs to practice, it's really painful. If the old god of the realm knew this fellow's thoughts, I don't know if he would kill this kid. The next day, the old Jia Wangshan came to Xingrenxing to pick up the western Zhuangshan, and the hard training began in the following days. However, because the ability of the old world king to develop potential does not work for the world king, the old world king just gave them normal training. On the other hand, Zhao Yi and Weiss came to a mysterious planet after leaving the realm of the king of gods. Above a khaki planet, Zhao Yi squinted and looked at the people who were cultivating and fell into deep thought. Lord God of Destruction, this planet is Adlat. The wise man on this planet is a very mysterious young man. It is said that he can communicate with the dragon god. It is not known whether this is true or not, but it is certain that although this famous family has just appeared, each of them has magical abilities. Quote. Weiss smiled and explained to Zhao Yi. What are these abilities? From the original work, Zhao Yi only knew that the Adlat star had the ability to teleport, and the rest was unknown. Ho, this is a lot to talk about. Every person on this planet has different abilities, such as confinement, teleportation, control of tree growth prediction, and a series of abilities, but their wise men are born with different abilities. However, it can use most of the abilities of the Adrat people. Weiss counted with his fingers. Most of the abilities. Interesting. According to the original text, these abilities seem to be passed on to others. Thinking of this, Zhao Yi smiled slightly, but he had more advanced teleportation, but he didn't use it if he had a driver like Weiss. But things like these prophecies can be very useful. Let's go and meet this so-called wise man. After speaking, the two turned into two comets and rushed towards the ground. In a valley, there is a wooden log cabin. Although this log cabin seems to be crumbling, it has stood in the wind and rain for hundreds of years and has not collapsed. Sitting cross-legged at the door of the wooden house was an old man with red skin and some black spots on his skin. This man was the wise man of Adlat. At this moment, the sage's cloudy eyes and eyebrows opened. The supreme god actually came to my Arad planet. What the hell is going on? The wise man used his superpower to predict that there would be a visit from a god when Zhao Yi and Weiss had just penetrated the atmosphere, but as for the purpose of the visit, his prophecy had not yet reached that level. The wise man stood up slowly, with the wooden stick in his hand pointing slightly to the ground. Shu sha sha sha. Quote. In an instant, dozens of figures appeared beside the wise man's cabin. Lord Wise, what are your orders for calling us here? The tall Adrat star who headed it respectfully asked the wise man, and the others also looked at the rickety old man in reverence. God is about to come, and I call you here to welcome the coming of God. Whether it is a disaster or a blessing depends on the good fortune. The words of the wise man made everyone stunned, and God was actually coming. But aren't all gods merciful and great? Why whoa. You can actually predict that I will come, your prophecy is still good. At this moment, a dull voice came from the sky. The crowd looked up. Two figures without any breath did not know when they actually appeared in the sky. If they hadn't seen each other with their own eyes, they might have suspected that they were wrong. Old man, carry the adrat people, and meet the gods. A gleam of light flashed in the eyes of the wise man when he saw Zhao Yi and Weiss. After that, his eyes glowed with shock, and he quickly knelt down toward Zhao Yi in the sky. Meet the gods. Meet the gods. Meet the gods. Dozens of adrates hurriedly knelt down with the wise men. You all get up, God of Destruction doesn't like these pomps. Weiss's gentle words made everyone feel relieved, and it seemed that he was a god who was good at talking. Only the wise man's forehead slowly broke out in cold sweat. But the god of destruction has a hobby that likes to eat food. If the food is not appetizing, your planet does not need to exist. Ho 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 ho, I'm sorry to say it is a bit scary. Weiss, words instantly changed everyone's face, and some impulsive people wanted to go up and do it. Did you hear? Why don't you hurry up and find some food for the god of destruction? The wise man slammed the ground with his crutches, and everyone instantly woke up from their anger. Swipe. In an instant, all the people disappeared in front of Zhao Yi. You are very good, and you can make the right choice. Well, I came here for another purpose. I heard that you have a lot of superpowers. I have seen your prophecy and teleportation. As for the others. Zhao Yi changed his words, and then clasped his fingernails in a boring way. Chapter 13, Beerus Sama. My lord, this is how I learned all the abilities of Adlat Star, please take a look. The wise man didn't hesitate. If Zhao Yi was a big bad guy like Frieza, he wouldn't hand over things even if he died. But Zhao Yi is obviously a god, a great god. It is equivalent to those high-ranking officials in the previous life. If the high-ranking officials want your things, you will of course hand them over, because if you hand them over, you will get the appreciation of the high-ranking officials, which is very good for the development of the race. Zhao Yi nodded slightly, and then a little bit on his hand. The scroll in the wise man's hand slowly flew to Zhao Yi's hand. Yes, since you are so sensible, I will go to the Realm King to say hello. After you die, you can enter the underworld for further studies. After taking other people's things, Zhao Yi will of course give some benefits. After all, he is a god. Although he is a god of destruction, he is still a positive character, isn't he? And just after Zhao Yi's words were finished. I heard the words of the god of destruction. Don't worry, I will make arrangements after the death of the wise man in Adlat. A flattering voice appeared in Zhao Yi's ears. Is this the king of the northern realm? Zhao Yi's eyes passed through the endless void, and at a glance, he saw a short fat man with nodding and wearing sunglasses on a small planet. This is the voice of Lord Realm King. It can actually make Lord Realm King so respectful. What kind of god is this god? Although the wise man guessed that Zhao Yi was a god, the highest god he knew in his vision was the Realm King, and he had never heard of the great Realm King. King of the Northern Realm. You have been monitoring me since I came. Who gave you the courage? Zhao Yi looked at the king of the Northern Realm who nodded and bowed, and wanted to tease him. Sure enough, as soon as the king of the Northern Realm heard it, a pea-sized sweat broke out on his forehead. Bibibi, god of destruction, I didn't mean it, please forgive me if you have a lot. I'll block it right away. This injustice of the king of the Northern Realm. I was told by the great Realm King to work hard from now on, and I couldn't slack off at all, otherwise I would be dismissed and investigated. It was all things that Zhao Yi notified. Now that I am working hard, I accidentally discovered the god of destruction, and I was actually scolded. No need, work hard. Zhao Yi looked at the king of the Northern Realm who was so anxious that his face became like a prawn. In order to prevent the other party from dying of a heart attack, Zhao Yi did not tease him anymore. Yes. The king of the Northern Realm wiped his forehead, sweating profusely. Hama approved. What kind of god is this god of destruction? Just a glance makes me tremble. No, No, I must find Babris to give me a good massage to relieve my little heart. Babris, who was just born, became a massage worker for the King of the North. By the way, first ask the great realm lord, what kind of god is this god of destruction? The King of the North realm, who was teased by Zhao Yi, could only run to the King of the great realm for comfort. And the wise man of the Adrat star has been stunned at this time, and the supreme god of the universe that he thinks is actually just garbage in the eyes of the adult in front of him. God bless my clan. It's right to hug your thighs. The old wise man was so excited that the folds on his face trembled. But then again. At this moment, Zhao Yi spoke up. The wise hurriedly listened carefully. This is an oracle. Mother's chicken, I've been here for so long, what's the food? Zhao Yi groaned while touching his stomach, knowing that he hadn't eaten for more than 2,000 years. This is simply intolerable for Zhao Yi, who was a foodie in his previous life and still a foodie in the future. Ho 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 ho, if the god of destruction is not full or if the food is not delicious, he will go into a frenzy. Weiss covered his mouth and smiled. Yes, yes, the old man urged him immediately. The wise man was sweating profusely on his forehead, and quickly tapped the ground with the cane in his hand. A large wooden table and chairs slowly grew out of the ground. After asking Zhao Yi to sit down, the wise man disappeared in front of Zhao Yi in a teleportation. Zhao Yi was bored and opened the scroll in his hand. Teleportation. Feel the breath of others, and then use the breath as a coordinate to break through the space to reach the breath position. This guy can't learn this thing without any strength. No wonder only a few dozen of the tens of thousands of Adarat people can teleport. As a magical skill, teleportation is not something that can be learned by just one person. According to the description inside, Zhao Yi roughly guessed that it would take at least 1,000 combat power points to learn this skill. And the stronger the strength, the farther the place can go. It's as simple as one. Zhao Yi learned it almost in an instant, which is why he was a little surprised. Although it was very simple after knowing the principle, it seemed a bit excessive in an instant. Seeing that the body of the god of destruction has undergone a qualitative change after I crossed over. 2,000 years ago, when I was learning combat skills, it was very laborious, but it was definitely not as simple as it is now to learn a skill at a glance. Ha ha ha, there are benefits to seeing people who have passed through. No wonder most people who have passed through can become dragons and phoenixes among people. A smile appeared on the corner of Zhao Yi's mouth. Ho ho ho, did the god of destruction see anything funny? Why do you laugh so happily? Of course, the most dissonant thing was Wes's motherly voice. Forget it, practice hard, and try to beat Weiss, mother first. This time, Zhao Yi woke up and suddenly found that Wes's combat power had actually risen. Although it was not as terrifying as he was, it was still twice as high. However, Zhao Yi knew that as long as he understood the second level of Zizai Jigong, the white god mode, he would be able to instantly rub Wes on the ground. Chapter 14, Time Reverse. Victory is just around the corner. It seems that we can't be lazy anymore. Let's do our best to beat Wes. After Zhao Yi sighed, he began to look at other superpowers. Imprisoned. It's not as perfect as I have mastered it, don't. Manipulation. Is it equivalent to puppet art? Yes, I learned it. Mind power. Oh, you are tall, you have learned it. The telepathy is not bad, but I don't know if I can predict what Weiss is thinking. Zhao Yi learned all the superpowers after he glanced at them. What Zhao Yi likes most is change and great prophecy. But that's not the most important thing right now. Weiss, you have the guts to grab my cake again. At this time, Zhao Yi, whose mouth was already stuffed with something, roared angrily at Weiss, whose stomach was like a bottomless pit. No, god of destruction obviously eats more than I do. Weiss also muttered to Zhao Yi with a look of contempt. You eat every day, I haven't eaten for 2,000 years, so you dare to rob me. Immediately, the two were quarreling again. On the other hand, the wise man and the tall Adrat star were serving dishes all the time. As a race that can teleport, the adroit people teleported directly to a planet tens of thousands of light years away to find these food for Zhao Yi. Almost all the most delicious food within hundreds of thousands of light years nearby. Weiss, you give me back my chicken legs. Zhao Yi finally couldn't bear it anymore. It's not good to grab his own chicken legs. Weiss is doing something, a big thing. Sir, God of Destruction, this is not a chicken leg, this is the leg of an ice fire bird, which can only be eaten once in hundreds of years. Weiss hurriedly flew into the sky holding a huge chicken leg, for fear that Zhao Yi would snatch it away. Okay, you have a seed. Zhao Yi spat, and the whole person disappeared with a swipe. Ah, what about people? Weiss was stunned for a moment, suddenly felt his hand light, and looked down to see that the chicken leg in his hand had disappeared. And Zhao Yi actually smiled at himself with Ice Fire Bird's leg not far away. Lord God of Destruction, you are fooling yourself, and you can grab the chicken legs with your free will, and you can do it too. Weiss looked aggrievedly at Zhao Yi, who radiated white light. With a single round of strength, Weiss is simply inferior to Zhao Yi. However, under Zhao Yi's use of Zizai Ji Gong, Weiss didn't even have the ability to react at all. After all, it's impossible for Weiss to be using the ultimate inspiration technique all the time. And Zhao Yi didn't bother about Reeves, so he took a bite. Crack. The sound of teeth crashing made Zhao Yi's face darken instantly. Wes. Zhao Yi let out a furious rage, emitting a terrifying purple light all over his body, and in an instant, the entire Adrat star began to vibrate. Countless space cracks appeared around, and the planet began to crack inch by inch. Lord God of Destruction, calm down, you have received the magical power. God forgive me. At this moment, the wise man and the tall Adrat can't wait to slap himself a few times. Why only prepare a thigh of the ice and fire bird? It's a pity that after a whole purple light flashed, the entire Adrat star disappeared into the starry sky in an instant. And Zhao Yi didn't pay attention to this at all, and the golden hole of his whole body instantly turned white. Huge white arrogance spewed out from the body. Whis, who had just grabbed the chicken leg and turned it into a streak of light, felt a pain in his hand for a moment. Subconsciously, he put down the chicken leg in his hand. Humph. A cold hum came from behind, and Weiss turned to look. My God, God of Destruction, are you trying to grab a chicken leg? You even broke through the Zizai Ji Yi Gong. Weiss smiled wryly, and in order not to be beaten, Weiss quickly put on a serious look. Master God of Destruction, hurry up and disperse Zizai Extreme Intention skill. You haven't fully mastered it yet. In this case, your God of Destruction will be consumed very quickly. Weiss, words made Zhao Yi smile with disdain. I don't know what your kid is thinking. Don't you just want to grab my chicken legs after I'm relieved of the ultimate freedom? Don't even think about it. At this time, Zhao Yi's telepathy technique immediately guessed Weiss's careful thoughts. After speaking, Zhao Yi ate the big chicken leg of the ice fire bird in a few bites under Weiss' resentful eyes. Well, not bad, I'll have a chance to eat it later. Licking his mouth, Zhao Yi enjoyed his full stomach. By the way, give me a few minutes back in time, I seem to have accidentally destroyed the Adlat star just now. Zhao Yi put his hands behind his back and glanced at Weiss lightly. HMPH, Lord God of Destruction is right, even if you don't give people food to eat, you still treat them as coolies every day. My life is really pitiful, eh? The appearance of Weiss covering his face and crying made Zhao Yi a pain in the ass. However, under Zhao Yi's lewd power, Weiss still came to the sky above the Adrat star. After a little bit of the scepter in his hand, a green light instantly enveloped the starry sky. Zhao Yi frowned slightly when he saw the green light. It's such a profound energy that I can't interpret it at all. Zhao Yi originally thought that his current talent might be a little inspirational. Ho ho ho, Lord God of Destruction, don't look at it, as the God of Destruction, you control the energy of destruction, and I, the priest, control the energy of time. It is impossible for you to learn both energies at the same time, unless you want to give up your energy. Destructive energy. Weiss, words made Zhao Yi suddenly realize that these two energies seem to be the same as the laws described in the novels in the previous life. But it's not impossible. Weiss smiled. Chapter 15. Does anyone play time travel? Weiss said with a smile. I'm a chicken, how can I feel unreliable looking at the smiling face of this turtle son? Zhao Yi narrowed his eyes and stared at Weiss. How about you talk about it? Zhao Yi's eyes stared at Weiss for a while, and he was still a little scared. Lord God of Destruction seems to be getting more and more irritable recently. No, I've been hiding and cultivating for 2,000 years just to avoid being beaten. I can't let Lord God of Destruction surpass me. Weiss didn't know what Zhao Yi wanted to do when he looked at him with weird eyes. Ho ho ho, if the God of Destruction wants to comprehend time energy, you only need to spend 10,000 times more time than me. Well, our priests began to comprehend time energy from birth. Sure enough, what Weiss said instantly made Zhao Yi's face darken. As far as I know, your age is probably billions of years. You told me that you have 10,000 times more time than you. Zhao Yi asked with a sneer. That's right, as a priest, the birthday of Whis and the seventh universe are the same day. So he's more than 1 billion years old. Oh, the Loon family is not that old. I am the youngest among the priests. Weiss looked embarrassed. Zhao Yi just rolled his eyes and didn't say a word. And just after the two of them had a conversation, the surrounding scene began to change rapidly. The ruins that had burst open were slowly recovered from a distant place. Countless flying stones slowly merged together and finally turned into a khaki planet. The law of time is really terrifying. If I master the time suspension in it, people who are several times stronger than me are not my opponents. At this moment, Zhao Yi once again felt the gap between himself and Weiss. It can be said that if Weiss wanted to kill him, it only took a moment for his cat head to fall to the ground. It has been decided that I must learn the law of time, it is impossible not to learn it. Zhao Yi's firm eyes. Weiss did not see it. If he saw it, he would definitely complain that he had less time to rest. Countless people from the Adalat star who died in Zhao Yi's rage just now were all resurrected. And Zhao Yi didn't go any further. After all, he was full. Come on, go around somewhere else. After speaking, Zhao Yi and Weiss turned into a ray of light and disappeared above the Adrat star. And the memory of the wise man and the big man on the ground still remained in the fight between Zhao Yi and Weiss 3 minutes ago. Lord Wise, where is the God of Destruction? The big man asked the wise man suspiciously. The wise man rolled his eyes at him. I know prophecy, but I'm not Baidu. How can I know everything? You can't make up your own mind. However, in order to maintain his tall image, the wise man sighed incomprehensibly. Alas, the gods are far away. Seeing that humans and gods are not destined to have much interaction, it may bring disaster to us. The words of the wise have been passed down to later generations, and the later generations of the Adrat people would stay away from the Protoss after encountering them, and eventually missed many opportunities to hug their thighs. What's more, after his death, he was elected by the Realm King to the Great Realm King to cultivate, and he strictly refused. The wise man waited for countless years on the Great Realm King star, but he did not wait for his own clan, and when he finally learned the truth, he was so angry that he lost his mind. Of course, Zhao Yi has no time to pay attention to these things. Weiss, is there a race called Saiyans in this universe? Zhao Yi and Weiss were flying at high speed in the universe at this time. Oh, God of Destruction is interested in this race. Of course, the Saiyan race is very interesting. Weiss said to Zhao Yi with a smile. Interesting. What's the point? Ho 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 ho, the God of Destruction will know when he sees him. Weiss knew that since Zhao Yi had asked the question, he would definitely go and have a look, and directly adjusted the direction and flew towards the Saiyan planet. A few minutes later, Zhao Yi came to a planet full of craters. This planet is planted with sparse vegetation, and at the same time, it is many times larger than the Earth. However, Zhao Yi could only feel a rare breath from above. There is only one race, don't they have other animals? It is hard to imagine that there are no other creatures besides humans on a planet, and of course the sparse vegetation does not count. As the god of destruction has seen, all other creatures on this planet have been eaten up by the Saiyans, even the original inhabitants. Now they only survive on the last vegetation. Weiss, explanation immediately confused Zhao Yi. Eat up. So terrifying. A planet has been eaten up. Zhao Yi thought that he was a big foodie. He never thought that there were people who were more foodies than himself, and they were still a race. Looking at the original book, Wukong's food intake is completely inherited, and maybe it has become smaller. At this moment, Weiss, who was still smiling, suddenly frowned. What's wrong with you? Zhao Yi asked in a deep voice. It is definitely not an easy thing to make Weiss frown. Someone broke the time barrier and traveled from the distant future. Weiss, words made Zhao Yi frown. Do you know that it came from a few years ago? A flash of inspiration appeared in Zhao Yi's mind, and a domineering figure appeared in his mind. I'm not quite sure, but I'm sure at least 800 or 900 years. Weiss, words made Zhao Yi more sure of the other party's identity. Well, know where he is, go and see. Yes, god of destruction. Weiss also swept the scepter in his hand, and the two flew tens of millions of light years away again. Chapter 16. Bardock. In a dry cave, a muscular man was lying in the innermost part of the cave. The man wears a red scarf on his head and has a scar on his face with a cross. Suddenly, the man's eyes suddenly opened. Where is this place? Am I not dead? The man remembered that fiery red light ball, and it was impossible for him to be alive under the shroud of that light ball. You're awake. Just then, a child's voice came from the entrance of the cave. The man suddenly looked towards the entrance of the cave. I saw a little thing that looked like a pink frog standing at the door at this time. This little thing looks delicious, but it's a little smaller. The little thing that was stared at by the man's eyes was instantly frightened. What a terrible person, wouldn't it be the legendary chrysanthemum monster that Dad said? The little thing subconsciously covered his butt. Where is this place? How could I be here? This man is Wukong's father, Bardock. Bardock stood up slowly and walked towards the little thing, but the back of his hand was ready to kill the little thing after a meal. It seemed to feel a strong sense of malice. The little thing said while covering his butt and walking towards the back. This is Plant Star, my name is Bailey. Bardock was stunned by the small things. Plant Star, isn't that the original name of Prince Planet? Bardock strode towards the outside of the cave. Everything is so familiar. This child really looks like a planter. Am I going back to the past? Bardock also lost the desire to eat at this time, and fell into contemplation. You're awake, it's really good. Just then, a voice came from behind him. Bardock frowned and turned his head, only to see a bigger Plant Star walking in from the other side of Shandong. Little Bailey saw his father hurriedly ran behind his father to hide. Hello, I'm Bailey's father. Your injury is not healed yet. Don't move yet. Bailey's father came over with a smile and took out a bottle of blue liquid. Slowly fell on Bardock's arm. This feeling is actually the same as the medicinal liquid in the treatment cabin. Am I really going back to the past? Bardock became more and more suspicious of the matter. Okay, this bottle is for you, you can fully recover after you use it. Bailey's father said to Bardock with a smile. Bardock picked up the medicinal liquid unceremoniously, but he also disappeared from the thoughts of wanting to wash the two father and son. Oh, by the way, you haven't eaten for a long time, this is our little intention, look. Bailey's father smiled and pointed to the fruit on the table not far away and asked Bardock. Bardock didn't say a word, picked up the food and walked outside. No matter how much Bailey's father shouted, he didn't look back. Dad, forget it, this person probably doesn't want to trouble us. Little Bailey persuaded his father. What do you know, there are only 2 baskets at home, and he took one away, shit. Bailey was speechless when he listened to his father's complaints, and his feelings were for the basket. In the days that followed, Bailey's father sent his son to deliver food every day in order to get back his beloved basket. It is a pity that the timid Bailey took the food and ran away after putting down the food, and the basket with the food was left in the cave that Bardock found. Dad, I don't dare, that man is so fierce, I was scared back when I saw it. This day, little Bailey came back with an empty basket, and cried when he saw his father, little Bailey. Useless things, your father, I'll show you what it means to steal a beam and change a column. After Bailey's father snorted coldly, he took the basket and food and left. When Bailey's father arrived, he saw Bardock, who wanted to change his taste because of eating fruit every day, grilling frogs. Of course, he was not a planter. But it still made Bailey's father pale with fright. A few minutes later, Bailey was sitting at the door of the house and saw his father stumbling back. Hoo, it's too scary, Bailey will be yours to deliver food in the future. Now he has cut off the idea of getting the basket back. The simple-minded little Bailey didn't know that if his father was so scared that he urinated when he saw someone eating a frog, it would definitely ruin his 3 views. In the next few days, little Bailey was delivering food to Bardock. Of course, Bardock also began to talk to him slowly, and things in the universe. Of course, during these times, Bardock finally confirmed that he was really thrown from the future world to the past. Although I don't know how many years I have come back, Bardock knows that it will never be 1 or 200 years. Boom. At this moment, a huge roar came from a distance. Bardock rushed out quickly, only to see a few aliens in battle suits in the distance wreaking havoc. Countless planters died. After seeing the spaceship coming from the other side, Bardock was angry. Frieza's ship, damn it. As the most powerful existence among the lower-level warriors, Bardock has a combat power of more than 18,000, and after crossing over from the past, his combat power has once again soared to 30,000. In an instant, Bardock appeared in front of several cosmic beings. After a devastating battle, all the cosmic beings were wiped out. At this moment, Bardock became the hero of the plant stars. But Bardock knew that these people were just the vanguard, and according to Frieza's urination, he would definitely send more people. And just when Bardock just returned to the cave, 2 figures suddenly fell from the sky. Chapter 17. Yes, the gods can do whatever they want. You're a time traveler. The 2 figures just fell to the ground. I heard the mighty cat in front of me say to me. Damn it, cats can talk these days. Bardock looked at Zhao Yi curiously, but he was most shocked by what the other party said. What? Did I really go back in time? The spaceship Bardock, who had seen Frieza, thought that he had just been sent to a planet very similar to the previous Prince planet. However, he had just overturned his guess, and someone told him that his guess was actually true. Who are you? Why do you know I'm from the future? Bardock looked at Zhao Yi and Weiss with a wary expression. Don't tell me. Weiss, search his memory. Zhao Yi was too lazy to talk nonsense with the other party, because he also knew that Bardock didn't know anything, and it would be a ghost if he could really ask. Yes, God of Destruction. Weiss smiled slightly. On the other hand, Bardock looked at Zhao Yi who didn't take them seriously at all, and their self-esteem couldn't take it anymore. I'm a dignified lower-level warrior leader. If you say ignore it, ignore it. Even if Frieza comes, you don't dare to do it to yourself. You are the little cookie. Bardock wanted to resist, but suddenly his eyes flashed, and Wes, who was just a few meters away, had appeared in front of him at some point. And his own body couldn't move for some reason. Damn, what the hell is going on? Bardock grinned and looked at Weiss, who had put the scepter on his head. Hey, there's nothing at all, it's impossible. Weiss was stunned for a moment. He actually didn't find anything in Bardock's mind. Just know that a newborn baby has something to look at. Huh, is there such a thing? Zhao Yi was also stunned for a moment, but then Zhao Yi's face suddenly became solemn. Even if Whis couldn't check the opponent's consciousness, it meant that Bardock was sent over by no means by accident. It seems that the water in Dragon Ball world is very deep. Zhao Yi's eyes narrowed slightly. Whis slowly took his hand off Bardock's head, and then returned to Zhao Yi's back. Of course, Zhao Yi knew that at this time, Whis was already contacting the Grand Priest to report the matter. Zhao Yi, on the other hand, smiled at Bardock who couldn't move. You are a Saiyan. Zhao Yi's words surprised Bardock. That's right, who are you and why can't I move? Bardock said to Zhao Yi with a slight anger. After Zhao Yi listened, his fingertips slightly touched, and after a click, Bardock suddenly felt that his body could move. Humph, come on, what the hell are you doing here? Bardock also saw that his strength was not the opponent's opponent, but his own Saiyan pride was not something that the opponent could trample on either. The God of Destruction is the highest God in this universe, and you have already committed the sin of time travel in the universe by coming from the future, so you have two choices. Whis said to Bardock with a smile. What a choice. Quote. Bardock was secretly frightened, the supreme God of the universe. It sounds so tall and rushing, no wonder it is so powerful. But for Bardock's words, Whis just smiled without saying a word, nudging his mouth to Zhao Yin. Zhao Yi was stunned in an instant, and he was a chicken, how did he know the choice of this Lao Shizi? And Zhao Yi learned from memory that the punishment was inconclusive at all. Under Wes's signal, Bardock quickly turned his attention to Zhao Yi. Ahem, the choice is simple, one is that I will destroy you, and then all traces of your presence in this world will disappear. Of course, Zhao Yi can't say that he doesn't know what the punishment is, he can only arrange the punishment himself. What? Destruction? Are you playing with me? The Supreme God is amazing, and the Supreme God can do whatever he wants. Bardock was instantly angry, and he almost got angry at Zhao Yi. Huh. Seeing Bardock's attitude, Zhao Yi narrowed his eyes slightly. Immediately, Zhao Yi smiled happily. Yes, the Supreme God is amazing, the Supreme God can do whatever he wants. After Zhao Yi smiled, he glanced at Wes, who was smiling and said, we not only want to destroy your body, we also want to destroy your soul, so that you know that God can do whatever he wants. Zhao Yi's words suddenly made Bardock choked and speechless. He knew that what Zhao Yi said was true. Mummy, where are these two gods? They are obviously local gangsters, they are simply unreasonable. Bardock clenched his fists tightly, but in the end there was no impulse. Tell me, what's the second option? Bardock spat, the situation is stronger than people, as long as the other party does not insult him, it is not impossible to promise the other party. Zhao Yi was immediately stunned. Mao Xian thought of teasing the other party, and now he doesn't know what to do after teasing. Hey, there is. Zhao Yi's eyes lit up. There is a clan of frozen demons making trouble in this universe. I will give you a choice to kill King Chilled, who is in their current hand, and then I will ignore you. Zhao Yi's words made Whis beside him stunned. Why is the God of Destruction thinking about looking for trouble with the frozen demon clan every day? Is it because the God of Destruction wants to see the transformation show and didn't see it? The God of Destruction is too stingy. Of course, Whis didn't dare to say these words casually, otherwise it would be bad for Zhao Yi to get angry and duel with him. Beating Zhao Yi with a little effort is a trivial matter. The key is to touch up makeup afterwards. The Frozen Demon Clan. What is that? Huh, isn't it just killing someone? I Bardock have killed a few. Chapter 18. King Chilled the Bull. On a mountain peak in Plant Star, a dusty man sat on the top of the mountain. The man stared at the sky with a pair of dead fish eyes. It's been 3 days, my mother has been here for 3 days, why hasn't this damn Chilled come here? The man was Bardock, who was trapped by Zhao Yi. As for why it is being pitted, it is very simple. After Bardock patted his chest and assured him that he would kill Chilled, Zhao Yi took him to this mountain and said that Chilled would fly over from the sky here. HMPH, don't worry, I'm waiting here, and I will never leave here. Bardak's sworn appearance made Zhao Yi unhappy for a while, and then our god of destruction, with a slight fingertip, instantly froze Bardak. Nani, what are you doing to stop me? Bardak roared furiously. Don't worry, I'm just afraid that you will run away. After all, what do you think? We just met, and you didn't give me a deposit or anything. When you run away, it means that my work has not been completed. What should I do if I am criticized by my superiors? Zhao Yi's bitter words made Bardak nodded slightly. Yes, you are right. In this way, after being put up by Zhao Yi to look up to the sky, Bardak left. Wow, Lord Bardak is so hardworking. For our planet star, we don't eat or drink for 3 days. I must be a hero like Lord Bardak in the future. That's right, I'm me too. Ellipsis 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 ellipsis. What made Bardak collapse the most was that the group of little brats under him actually came to him every day to point at him. Although it means that he wants to make himself an idol, but he, Bardak, is a proud Saiyan, how could he need the heroic title of this Roshi? Child, if you don't come here again, I'm going to shit. And just when Bardak was about to collapse, suddenly there was a glimmer of light in the corner of his eyes. Come on, come on, come on. Bardak excitedly stared at the circular spaceship flying towards him in the sky. Bardak, who was originally very excited, changed a bit after seeing the flight direction of the spaceship. I'm going to date you. Can you drive a spaceship? I didn't see a mountain here. Bardak looked in horror at the spaceship that was getting closer and closer to him. Boom. After a final sound of impact, the entire mountain peak was cut off. And the spaceship is also inserted in the mountains. And Bardak also flew upside down covered in blood, and finally landed in the gravel. Cough, cough, child of the grass mud horse, I'm going to turn you over if I don't have a chicken. In the rubble, Bardak smeared the healing liquid he carried on his body. Soon his injuries recovered quickly. At this moment, the cabin door of the spacecraft inserted in the mountain opened. A preschooler walked out of the room with a coda. There are also a few dead running tricks behind him. Ha 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 ha, how is my braking technique, sir? It's handsome. The immature Chilled laughed with his hands on his hips. King Zilda's happy, King Zilda's happy. A few salted fish who only called 666 quickly followed suit. Do you know what this technology is called? Chilled smiled mysteriously. Hearing this, the runners hurriedly shook their heads in coordination. Ha ha ha, I knew you didn't know. This trick is called the Iron Head Baby hitting the wall breaking technique. Oh hoo hoo hoo. Child's magical smile spread thousands of meters away. King Chilled is awesome. King Chilled is awesome. At this moment, the accident happened. Child, who was still laughing wildly, suddenly felt that he was being choke-pointed. After a while, Chilled was smashed to the ground by the sudden appearance of Bardak, who fell over his shoulder. Then he kicked his head wildly. The surrounding salted fish have been stunned. Isn't the iron-headed baby? Is it hitting the wall? Is it cool? Huh? Bardak kicked and cursed at the same time. Boom. Ellipsis 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 quote. At this moment, waves of vibrations came from the ground, and Bardak's expression changed. He quickly flew into the distance. Boom. After a loud roar, a terrifying mushroom cloud emerged from the place where Bardak had kicked the pupil angrily. Chilled burst out from the ground with a red light. Seeing that their adults were all right, a group of salted fish laughed happily. King Chilled is awesome, King Chilled is awesome. Quote. Hearing this sentence, Chilled's face darkened instantly. A streak of red energy condensed from his palm, and slammed into the middle of Shanyu's men with a bewildered face. After an explosion, countless stumps flew everywhere. Niu, you are so numb, where did you die when Lao Su was beaten? After spitting at the dead people, Chilled looked angrily at Big Bardak not far away. Only at this time did Bardock see clearly the appearance of the child in front of him. Frieza, it's you. Chapter 19, Super Saiyan Bardock. Frieza, who is Frieza? I'm King Chilled, you kid, take a good look at it. The fiery red arrogance on Chilled's body became more and more violent, as if it would burn soon. If you look closely, it really doesn't look like you. Frieza is so ugly as you are, but you are a frozen demon family. Bardock said, hiding his right hand behind his back, and a ball of light condensed. Ho ho ho, you still know that our frozen clan has a bit of culture. Chilled smiled arrogantly with his hands on his hips. Bang! Suddenly, a flash of light in the sky shook Chilled's eyes with pain. What the hell? Chilled, who rubbed his eyes, hurriedly looked into the sky. I saw a ball of light floating in the sky at this time. Damn, there's something wrong with turning on the lights during the day. Chilled spat. Roar. After a huge beast roar. A huge foot was stepped down in the sky. Even after dozens of Miseld's face turned green. What a big kick. Chilled also sensed the terrifying aura of the giant palm. Immediately, he flashed to the side. HMPH, Chilled, right. I am 10 times as powerful as I was before. No matter how powerful you are no match for me. Bardock, who was transformed into a giant ape, laughed wildly and stepped on Chilled one by one. Chilled could only flee in embarrassment. Damn, who the hell are you? Chilled has never seen such a terrifying race yet, and he can still transform. Ha ha ha, remember, the one who killed you was a Saiyan, and my name is Bardock. Bardock laughed wildly and shot a huge ball of light from his mouth. Damn, dare to underestimate me. Chilled was furious, his muscles suddenly bursting out. The whole person became taller like an inflatable doll. That is, the combat power has been increased from the original 200,000 to 400,000. Do you think it's just you that will transform? Chilled roared and charged towards Bardock. The situation immediately reversed. Later, by chance, Chilled cut off Bardock's tail in one fell swoop. The wilted Bardock was completely defeated. Just when Chilled laughed wildly and was about to kill Bardock, Bailey's father and son ran over and sent 2 heads from 1,000 miles away. Bardock, who was already furious, instantly burst into flames. The arrogance slowly dyed Bardock's hair yellow. Grass, what hair dye is so awesome? After leaving this last game, Chilled was kicked into the universe by the Super Saiyan Bardock. Of course, Chilled did not die immediately, but was rescued by his own clan a few days later. Without the healing liquid, they could only watch Chilled die. Chilled's eyes widened suddenly before he died. Tell the junior. Be careful, beware of killing Matsians with blonde hair. After that, Chilled ended his short acting career. The other side. Bardock, who had just defeated Chilled, came to the seriously injured Bailey and his son. Under the treatment of therapeutic liquid, the 2 father and son slowly recovered. And at this moment, 2 figures with the momentum of destroying the sky and the earth slowly floated down from the sky. Master God of Destruction, would it be better to pretend to be realistic like this? Whis whispered to the God of Destruction. Enla, these mortals just want to scare them, they will know that you are a god. This is the general outline of the pretense summed up by the God of Destruction based on the experience of his previous life. Wow, what a terrible person. The cat demon is here, the cat demon is here. When little Bailey saw the God of Destruction, his face turned blue with fright, and he shouted and hid behind his father. Don't be afraid, we have, Lord Bardock. Bailey's father's legs were already weak with fright. The conversation between the 2 instantly made the God of Destruction pale. Hey, kid. The indifferent voice of the God of Destruction reached Bailey's ears, causing him to scream. Ho 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 ho, God of Destruction, you are too scary, look at scaring other people's children. The God of Destruction rolled his eyes at Wes's schadenfreude. Okay, Bardock, our deal is done. I'll ignore you as long as you don't do things in the universe. The god of destruction spoke to Bardock with a blank expression. However, Bardock looked at the god of destruction at this time, but something was wrong. The god of destruction couldn't guess what Bardock was thinking, so he raised his right hand slightly to make it empty. A terrifying purple light blasted towards Bardock. What? Bardock hurriedly condensed a golden gas bomb and smashed it towards the god of destruction's purple light. However, Zigwang rushed through the golden air bullet like a broken bamboo and then stopped on Bardock's forehead. Bardock broke out in a big cold sweat, and the strong breath of death almost suffocated Bardock. Damn, why are you so strong? I'm already a Super Saiyan. Bardock said with an ugly expression. If you want to compete with me, you must first understand the realm of God, or you will never touch my finger. The god of destruction glanced at Bardock lightly. If Bardock could comprehend the realm of God, he might have a chance to compete with him. By the way, to give you a sentient reminder, not far from this planet, the Saiyan gathering place is there. After finishing speaking, the god of destruction gave him a coordinate. Bardock couldn't hide the excitement in his eyes. Thank you. In Bardock's sincere thanks, the god of destruction took Wes away from planet. There are actually Saiyans nearby, ha ha ha, let's see what the Saiyans are like in this era. After saying goodbye to Bailey and his son, Bardock flew towards Saiyan Star in Child's spaceship. Chapter 20. I want to learn the law of time. Wes, do you know the Super Saiyan that Bardock said just now? Whis and the god of destruction are flying towards the god of destruction at this time. On the way, Zhao Yi asked Wes. Super Saiyan, I really heard that there is a legend that a Super Saiyan will appear among the Saiyans in 1,000 years. Weiss smiled and slowly explained to the god of destruction. Super Saiyans have been around since the race of Saiyans began to appear, and after every 1,000 years, a Saiyan with exceptionally powerful natural strength will appear. Even if you don't practice this Saiyan's strength growth rate is hundreds of times that of ordinary Saiyans, this Saiyan has the ability to transform into a Super Saiyan when he is an adult. After the transformation, the strength has skyrocketed. Generally, the Kaiwang god can't beat the adult Super Saiyan, but the legendary Super Saiyan died before the Kaiwang god found it. Whis' last words made Koken, the god of destruction, shrink violently. Dead, what the hell is going on? The god of destruction asked solemnly. The reasons are complicated, let's put it this way, the legendary Super Saiyan was born with a bad temper. Generally, after each birth, there will be a major disaster on the Saiyan planet, either the genocide or the destruction of the planet. This also led to the fact that although Saiyans are a race that has been handed down from ancient times, there is no reason for any development. Weiss' explanation reminded Zhao Yi that the destruction of the Prince planet in the original book was not long after Broly was born. But since the planet has been destroyed, how can there still be Saiyans handed down? Zhao Yi doesn't believe that the surly legendary Super Saiyan will stay alive. This is going to start with the Bardock you just met. Speaking of which, I was shocked to see that Bardock would transform into a Super Saiyan, because among the Saiyans, there will be royalty every 1,000 years. Through training, become an ordinary golden Super Saiyan. Although this type of Super Saiyan is not very strong, it can become extremely powerful in the showdown with the legendary Super Saiyan. History: almost all the legendary Super Saiyans above were killed by normal Saiyans. Quote. It's a big secret. It's a big secret. The legendary Super Saiyans who were sought after in their previous lives actually did not survive to the end. All of them were killed by ordinary Super Saiyans. That's not right. You said that ordinary Super Saiyans will only come from the royal family, so Bardock is the royal family. The god of destruction clearly remembered that Bardock was just an ordinary lower-level Saiyan. I don't know about this. All the Saiyans in my memory are descendants of the royal family to become Super Saiyans. Weiss smiled and shook his head. The god of destruction also fell into contemplation. After a few minutes, the two returned to Destruction God Realm. Okay, god of destruction, what are you trying to cultivate this time? Your current strength can be said to be that all the other gods of destruction combined are not your opponents. On the edge of the pond, Weiss asked the god of destruction with a smile. To be honest, this powerful god of destruction has never been seen by Weiss since the birth of Universe 7. Perhaps this god of destruction would only appear before the 7th universe was born. However, is the god of destruction enough just to be able to defeat other gods of destruction? No, absolutely impossible. I'm going to punch the old man and the great priest in the future, and kick the existence of Quanwang Elementary School students. Will such a little strength be enough? Of course, the god of destruction couldn't say this sentence, and if he said it, he would be invited to tea by the high priest. Even King Quan would find himself to play the game of god of destruction. Weiss, you have to have a dream. There is no difference between a dream and a salted fish. I really don't know how you got into the priesthood. The god of destruction looked at Weiss with contempt, which made Weiss actually feel like a salted fish. Yeah, what happened to the god of destruction? You think about cultivating every day. Is a punch like Master Pa really so effective? Weiss just wanted to beat the elephant for a while now, and the good-looking baby god of destruction was broken by one punch. Stop talking nonsense. Starting today, I will learn the manipulation of time and energy. The god of destruction ordered Weiss with his hands behind his back. Studying time energy. Lord god of destruction, are you ill? Weiss hurriedly came to the god of destruction and tested his forehead with his hands. I don't have a fever. What nonsense are you talking about? Weiss's action made the god of destruction speechless for a while. Are you looking down on Lao Tzu's talent? There's no reason why you can't learn anything from the god of destruction theology. Did you forget that I won the championship in the god of destruction IQ test? The god of destruction said proudly. Although the previous god of destruction is delicious and lazy, his IQ really has nothing to say. No, Lord God of Destruction, I told you that you already have destructive energy. If you want to learn time energy, it will cost 10,000 times that of a normal person. Are you sure you want to learn it? Wei Wei's bitter expression made Zhao Yi narrow his eyes again. And he stared silently at Weiss, which made Weiss feel more and more frightened. Okay, God of Destruction, don't stare at people like this, it's really annoying, can't I teach you? Weiss groaned. The god of destruction took a deep breath and forcibly held back his rage. No, you can't get mad, and you must not get mad in order to beat this kid better in the future. The god of destruction forced himself to comfort himself in his heart.